Okay, so the first step of any job is you want to hand clean the gutters, removing all the leaves and as much dirt as possible. The toilet brush will help with this to remove any dust and dirt. Okay, so now that this guttering's been hand cleaned, as you can see, we're going to pressure clean it. So when you pressure clean it, what you want to be doing is pressure cleaning this outer lip of the gutter, in the guttering, towards the downpipe, and then flushing out the downpipe for about 30 seconds to a minute. I'll just Okay, so now that I've finished pressure cleaning this, I've pressure cleaned in the gutter, the outer lip of the gutter where the tape's going to sit, and I've lightly dusted these tiles to remove any leaves and as much dirt as possible. As you can see, we're going to let this dry for about 5 to 10 minutes and then start isopropiling and priming. Okay, so now that this is dried, I'm going to isopropyl it. You want to place the isopropyl on a cloth, not a lot, you only need a small amount, and then apply it wherever the tape's going to sit. So this outer lip of the gutter. The purpose of this isopropyl is to clean the surface. You must do this every time. I'm going to do this all the way along the gutter. This outer lip of the gutter's been isopropyled. We've given that about 2 minutes to take effect. I'm going to prime it all. So it's the same sort of setup, a small amount of primer on the cloth, and apply that anywhere the tape's going to sit. The purpose of the primer is that's what the tape is going to adhere to, so you need to prime any surface where the tape's going to be. We'll do this all the way along. Now that this has all been primed, I can start applying the tape to the guttering. So I've removed the green tape from the back and exposed the sticky surface. When I start applying it, I want to leave about this much overhang on the end of the gutter, because this is going to be cut and tucked back in. As you can see there, I'm then going to roll the roll of mesh the full length of the gutter. Okay, so I've rolled the mesh the full length of the gutter, as you can see, and I've tacked it on up the end here, about so far, with the overhang. Starting to apply the tape, I'm going to work in sections about 1 foot long. So I get that on the centre of the gutter lip. I usually apply pressure with my hand, making sure I'm getting it on the front of the lip of the gutter and also at the back. I then grab my roller and roll this to make sure that it's applied firmly and well. I'm going to do this all the way along the gutter. Okay, so now that I've applied the tape to the outer lip of the gutter, as you can see, all the way along, I'm going to start making my cuts. So when it comes to cutting, always leave the first 2 tiles out from the end uncut. We'll start here at this 3rd tile, cutting to the right of the joins in the tile to the front of the tile. So just like this. To the front, which will create a flap. This flap is then going to be tucked in under the tile. I'll do this all the way along. I've made my cuts to the front of the tile and created the flap. I'm going to tuck this under the tile. Lift the tile up, use the back of your scissors, tuck that flap in. With this hand, I usually put some pressure on the mesh and then place that tile down to make sure that it's sitting as flat as possible. I'll do this right along. Pressure. Okay, so I've tucked this in all the way along underneath the tiles, as you can see. When I first started putting on the mesh underneath the tiles, I left these first 2 tiles free. What I'm going to do with these tiles is I'm going to cut along the front of them. As close as I can to the front of that tile. Down this point. Now when it comes to this bit, you can either cut the mesh higher, so that it's going to be sitting on this ridge, or on the front of it. It's up to you. I'm going to cut it along the front, as the silicone won't be as visible. So, just like that. Cut a little flap. So I'm cutting in to this corner of the gutter. And then I'm going to tuck this flap in. Just like that. Trim this. And then here, here, and along the front of these tiles will be silicone. Okay. Cut out this section, I'm going to silicone it up. So we're just going along the front of these tiles. Smooth that out with my finger to make it a bit neater. Down this point. Once again, smooth it. Front. And the end where I put the flap. Like that. And that's it. So these ends on the 500, this end and the opposite end, will be the only sections that get the silicone. Everything else is tucked in under the tile. Okay, so now that this has been siliconed up, this gutter's complete. The ends have been siliconed, and all the way along it's been tucked under.